some intriguing questions, and then of any follow up to the value that you guys are adding. And again, like we said before everyone joined, we're very grateful for you guys, leading and abundance and sharing your successes and the things that are working for you guys with the entire agent community, because again, it's paying it forward. I know the industry, thankfully and humbly, has been good to us, and I know that the industry has been good to you guys. And so just again, very, very thankful for you guys to share and be an open book and help us all get better as an entire industry. And I know the industry needs that. The world needs that. And so and that kind of leads me into my first. So again, Bobby, thank you. Shelby, thank you. And Daniel, thank you. Kelly, thank you for putting this together and organizing it. And again, thanks to everyone that's attending today. So hopefully we can have some nice, friendly banter and discussion, and ultimately, obviously, pull some value out of this for everyone to kind of take and implement in their business really right now, and that's the idea here. So, but again, as the current state of, this, the market, the current state of maybe, our country, of all the things that are, going on, lots of distractions, lots of drama, lots of, I'm just going to go ahead and call it nonsense going on in the world, for lack of a better phrase. And that being said, mental health, I want to start with mental health today. And how do you guys stay above all the noise that's going on in the world? And, how are you continuing to be, mental champions, controlling your mindset, and really ultimately staying productive? Let's start with Daniel on this one.
What's up, guys? Can you guys hear me okay? Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. So to answer your question, Jeremy, is how do we keep a good and strong mindset during these crazy times? Is coming from the background I come from is which is coming from a background of kind of struggling as a family early when I was a little boy, and we always faced challenges growing up. So going through some hard times is nothing new. So the way I personally handle it is I've always been someone of faith, someone of prayer. So every morning I have my prayer and meditation. Every morning I listen to the scriptures. I used to read the scriptures, but nowadays with technology and whatnot, I have the daily audio Bible, and it reads it to me a little bit easier. So that's how I keep my mind focused. That's how I keep being positive, is prayer, meditation, and scripture, and also because there's always a need. There's always a need in the community, a need to be served, right? There's always a service that the community needs to be serviced. Number one, in real estate, and number two, people look for guidance and leadership, and I believe that I have no choice but to serve and to lead and to guide, and that's just how I done it.
That's great, Daniel. And I love the kind of the morning routine, right? Taking control of our morning and really starting out, on the right path, and whatever that is to you. And obviously, to everyone else out there, but the morning, I think, our routine, versus normal, so, but same question to Bobby.
How do I follow that one? For me, I have to work out every morning. I mean, thank God I have a full gym at my house. So I get up, do my cardio and work out, and kind of helps get rid of the stress. But I don't have kids at home anymore. So for me, it's just button down. And when I look at, the market and the listings that are being absorbed, it just keeps me fired up to know that I am bored stiff if I'm not busy. So I just do whatever it takes to, make calls or emails or mail a card. Just working right now keeps me busy. And also when I see other agents in my area getting listings that I wanted myself, that kind of fires me up. So I just, I think the real thing for me is working out in the morning, because that kind of gives me refreshed. And if I don't do that certain days, it makes for a long day. So that's kind of how it helps me work.
Oh, I'm chiming in, guys. Looks like Jeremy is having issues with his Wi-Fi. So I have
Yeah, you guys got me back here?
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
We missed you.
Sorry. But I think I heard the majority of what you said there, Bobby. So, you know, I'm happy to say that a couple years back, I helped Bobby introduce him to what is now known as a podcast when he wasn't familiar. You know, and one of the things that you said, you know, when we had you on the Daily Dose was that, you know, you look at each year as a new beginning and a reset, and that's always kind of stuck with me, and that's kind of motivated. You know, you've had a tremendous amount of success, like all you guys have, and but you look at, you know, you're kind of back to ground zero at the beginning of the year, and it kind of resets, and now we're all at zero, right? And that's kind of helped you stay hungry at the beginning of the year. So I've always loved that. So I just wanted to share that. So Shelby, let's move on to you on this mindset piece. And again, like we've said, for us, before you can grow a business, before you can be successful, before you can, you know, start to financially plan for your future and et cetera, it really comes down to, you know, having that right, you know, mindset and that mental health piece. And I know people out there right now are really, it's challenging for people. And so we want to hear from you, Shelby, obviously, on how you control and do the best you can on that.
So yes, I do think mindset is extremely important. Not only you love and feel good about what you do, but you love and feel good about who you are in what you do. So if you don't have a good mindset, it definitely shows through in your business. I would consider myself more of a night owl than a morning person. But of course, with kids and school, you know, of course, I get up like every mom, get their kids to school, and then I've always gone right to the office. I like to stay in a routine. I like a schedule. I don't want to just not know what I'm doing. So of course, like I said, I've got 4 children, and for years that's what I've done. Wake up, took my kids to school, and then went right to the office. So this shift kind of shook me up a little bit. I would say I was kind of worried about staying on a schedule. But very quickly, because I need to be on a schedule to feel good, I actually started doing a little side investing in the stock market. Of course, the bell rings at 6:30, so I would get up at between 6 and 6:15 so I could get ready, get on the computer, and kind of look at some things, and that kind of became my new goal of that was my time. I need a purpose to get up. I can't just get up for nothing because, you know, like I said, I'm more of a night owl. So my new routine is definitely getting up before 6:30, looking at the stock market a little bit, seeing what's going on, and then I go right into my workout. I really strongly believe in workouts. So I either hike, I have a hiking trail right by my house, I run, or now thankfully the weather's warm, I get to swim. Swimming is a really good workout as well. You know, get that done, make my bed, take my shower, and then get right back on and see what I have to do for the day. Like I said, I love staying in a routine. Because a routine makes me feel very safe and comfortable. So,
got it. Yeah, you know, we've all heard the phrase, you know, it's not the strong that survive, but those that can adapt, right? Adapt to change. And we were all forced with this. We didn't ask for this, but we were all, you know, forced to, you know, change. And I like to say, you know, evolve and grow and become better. So, you know, transitioning kind of the next question. You know, we've said for, you know, approximately 100 years around here, give or take, that, you know, this is a human connection, human resource business. And, you know, again, we have to build, you know, deep connections with people and really move that needle from a relationship to professional trust with our clients, friends, families, and ultimately be a resource for them. So how are you guys currently being a resource for your clients? What are you doing? What are you saying? What does that look like? How are you presenting and offering yourself as a resource for your clients? Let's start with Bobby on this one.
First, I have a question. How come I'm the only one that you went blank on the You know, you were fine with Shelby and Daniel, but with me, I'm taking that personal. You know, I think kind of what said earlier, beginning of the year, when I start off at 0, I just put everything, I go 24 hours a day. I mean, as crazy as it sounds. And I think now I'm doing a lot more, postcards. I'm doing a lot more advertising. I know when I've been on a few of, not the podcast, but the podcast recently, some of the agents said they pulled back their advertising. And for me, I've amped it up. I just think that, there's a lot more agents out there, and I'm not stupid enough to not realize that the younger generation of agents whose kids are going to school, they have basically an angle that I don't have anymore because my kids aren't in school. So I really do a lot more marketing now. I mean, I certainly, I used to do maybe 1,000 postcards a month. Now maybe I'll do 3,000 postcards a month. And I do our local paper. I don't do TV. You'll never see me doing that. But I really think, in this market, because there's a lot of agencies out there that offer discounts. We see them on TV, and I'm here to tell people that, I get it. You get what you pay for. There's a lot of discount agents. You can make that choice, but if you want to get it sold, you go with Shelby. Go with Daniel. Sorry, Daniel. Your name was messed up before, so I was all confused what your name was. But you know what? I think you get what you pay for, and I think that's kind of where I really, when I go on listing appointments, that people always are trying to beat you up on commission. This agency's doing it for 1 point, whatever. And I go, you're never going to see them again. So you're going to pay more with me. I'm sure the other agents will say the same thing. But look what I've done. Here's the volume I've done in my neighborhood. I don't spread myself out all over the valley. Jeremy, you know that if I have to hop on 51, that's too far for me. So I stay in my own 5-mile radius. But I think you need, from my perspective, it's letting the clients know, this is what I've done. I've sold all your neighbors' houses. This guy's coming in here saying they can sell your house at a discount. Have they ever sold a house in our neighborhood? So I don't, I'm not knocking another agent. I'm just knocking the whole concept of saying, I'm selling myself that you're going to pay more for me, but I get it done. All your free. And I also try to find a common denominator. Maybe they know somebody that I know that kind of, breaks the ground there, but I just really try to offset the discount agencies out there and put out that this is what I do and what I've done for 28 years. And I think that's valuable if you want to get your house sold.
So really leading to the value or the resource of your knowledge and expertise.
That is correct, sir.
All right. Let's go to Shelby. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Shelby, again, same question for you. How are you being a resource? Again, we're seeing a lot of people out there right now, maybe not as much as we did a couple months ago, kind of offering themselves up of like, hey, look, if you're struggling, if you need a meal, if you need a roof over your head or somewhere to stay, or if you need this, that, I'm here for you. And so, I think that obviously, those types of things, obviously go a long way as well. But Shelby, how are you specifically offering yourself or being a resource for your clients, friends, family, et cetera?
So I've definitely done a pretty strong shift in my business towards, my clients, my past clients, my sphere. I've done a really good job of building up some different platforms in order for me to stay very connected with my clients. I do have a farm as well, and so we do newsletters every month. We try to keep it, informational and helpful. We reach out to the community through our newsletter. We've raised funds for different organizations with our newsletter, in addition to giving them market information. We've been doing that for years now. I have a private Facebook group that all my clients go into. And that's another way that we've stayed connected with our clients. And in that Facebook group, honestly, it's not about, hey, look at my listing. This is what we listed. This is what we sold. It has really nothing to do with real estate. It's just about staying connected with our clients. And I really just give back to my clients in there through gift card giveaways, sending groceries to clients through there. So we do that. I also have all my clients on a great texting platform that we introduce all of our clients to be able to mass text our clients. And, you know, I really wanted to tread lightly, of course, with the whole COVID thing when it started. It's like, you don't want to bombard people about, hey, you know, real estate stuff. And so with that, I just, you know, hey, send them out a simple text message of, I'd like to offer you, you know, a free cup of coffee with Starbucks. If you're interested, let me know and I'll send you a $10 gift card. You know, really, I just wanted to give to my clients during this time, and try to just stay connected. Of course, we also have all of our clients, and I'm sure a lot of you either have already used it. I'm probably a little late getting into the game of the home bot, just gently keeping them informed of their values. But it's not about, hey, let me know if you need to sell, because, you know, everyone's in a panic right now. So we have these things working in the background to stay connected, and just be a resource for our clients without it being in your face. I do a lot of stuff on Instagram too. I try to make it fun on Instagram and let them see my personal side, but I also give information about what's going on in our market, what, you know, how our market's doing compared to other markets, and just constantly try to trickle in valuable information. But like I said, not that it's all about real estate, because that's, you know, I like to be human to my clients.
And we have to be human, right? We have a responsibility, again, like I said, to build real, true, you know, relationships. And I love that it's not all about real estate, because it gets boring, it gets stale, and people get tired of that, right? And they feel like we're being sold, and we're not going online, and we're not going, you know, on social platforms to be sold, right? And so, you know, it's just what it sounds like. It's a social platform, so you can be real and you can be human, and then you drop in the real estate piece, you know, every so often, and I love that. So. Daniel, obviously, same question to you, my man. How are you continuing to be a resource for your clients?
Yep. So as you know, I was trying to get on my laptop right now, and we had some difficulties. So I'm on my cell phone. So I got some calls coming in. I'm ignoring them. So I hope I don't get cut off. But if I do, that's the reason. Okay. So a lot of
we'll get to answering your phone. We'll get to answering your phone soon here as an agent. So yeah.
Speaking of answering your phone, I know Bobby's pretty passionate about answering your phone. And by the way, you know, Bobby being as busy as he is, you call any of his listings, he picks up,
Unreal.
which is, and that's, that really spoke to me, Bobby. So you inspire me. I have my cell phone number and all my listings, and I try to pick up as much as possible. Anyways, to answer the question, I also have a closed private page just for my clients, which Jeremy, you're on that page.
Yeah, I love
You're
it.
on that closed
Yeah.
group. Mainly to keep me in line, make sure if I do anything wrong, I know you always call me out on it. But I have this closed group, and I've had this for going on a little over 2 years now, actually. It was in 2018, early 2018, so it's a little over 2 years. But what I used to do there, I used to raffle off iPads, right? So all the clients, I would do one raffle, gift cards and iPads and movie tickets and whatnot. So obviously, since this whole COVID thing started, in March, I switched that up a little bit. I no longer do iPads. Now I just do $100 gift cards to Target, to Walmart. So, you know, the essentials and necessities. So I no longer do a big iPad now, or movie tickets. Obviously movies, they can't go to the movies anyways. So now I do, for groceries, for the essentials, I do anywhere between 7 up to 15 $100 gift cards every month. So that and then also what's been different lately, only because a lot of people are different, and you want to be sensitive to other people's beliefs and thoughts. And as leaders, again, you know, you kind of need to be neutral sometimes, and that's hard for me to be neutral because I'm very outspoken. But you know, there's 30% of my clientele that are very worried, and they don't want to go out, and they don't want pop-bys of any kind. They don't want me showing up to their doors with an iPad. They don't want none of that. Right. And then there's the other 30% of my clientele that, you know, say, oh, we should be out there, we should be open, you know, we should be open a long time ago. Then there's the other 40% of my clientele that is kind of in the middle. So I have to be neutral to all of them. And what I've been doing lately, since I haven't done any client events, I used to be huge on client events. I haven't done any more client events since March. So what I've been doing since March is I'm calling them. I every single week, I focus on a certain clientele that I call every week. You know, one week I'll focus on my top 50. Another week I'll focus on the clients that closed last month. The next week I'll focus on the clients that closed 2016. Then the next week I focus on my clients that closed on 2015 and so on. So I've been doing a lot of phone calls now, a lot. And those phone calls is just, how are you doing? How's everything? Anything that you need, anything I can do for you. And that's actually been helping me out a lot more lately with referrals. It's helping me out a lot more with connecting with my clients is those phone calls. And now now that I'm not doing the client events, I can actually spend a little bit more time with them. Where before my client events was, I'm inviting all my 2015 clients to this dinner. So before I was in a rush, I would call the 2015 clients and say, hey, you're invited to this dinner. It's Thursday night, yada, yada. Can you go, yes or no? Okay, see you then. Now it's more calm. Now I can take the time to talk to them. Now I can spend at least 4 to 5 minutes on the phone with them, where before it was only 1 minute. And now they're picking up the calls, where back then, you know, they hardly picked up the phone calls. Today, I get more clients picking up the calls. So that's what I've been doing different today.
I love it. All good stuff. Danny, one of the things you mentioned I want you to touch on, you know, just quickly is and again, this is a little bit of a curveball, I guess, so to speak, because I didn't have this on my list of questions, but you touched on it, and I think it can add value to a lot of folks out there. Is you mentioned your top 50 and what that experience looks like. And again, I know for some newer agents, maybe they don't have a top 50 favorite clients, but the point of this, and I want you to, you know, again, take it, is, you know, not everybody can, and I'm sorry to say, not everybody can get the same experience, you know, from us or with us, right? I know, Daniel, your top 50, these are people that are, you know, flying your flag. They're endorsing you. They're referring you constantly. Maybe they've done a whole bunch of transactions with you. And so there's a different level of experience, you know, for those folks. Quickly, if you could, how do you categorize those? And again, also quickly, what's that different level of experience look like?
So I got that idea from the core training. The core training, I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, but they have this idea of top 150. And it breaks it down into 3 different categories. There's the top 50 clients. And these are not just clients that have bought or sold with you, but there are people, like you mentioned, they're raving fans. There are people that love you. They just rave about you. They, like you mentioned, they raise your flag. Anyone ever says anything about, you know, buying or selling real estate, they're always going to mention your name. So those are the top 50 clients, are the ones that have done multiple transactions and refer you a lot of business. And then there's your top favorite people. These are people that refer you, but you have not yet done business with, but they refer you constantly. And it can either be your family member or, you know, your yoga instructor, your pastor, whatever, a mentor, someone that constantly refers you. Those are your top 50 favorite people. And then there's your top 50 business people. And it's, you know, people that own their own small business that have the ability to refer a lot of business to you. So these top 150, they do get a little, they get special treatment, obviously, because they give me business. So instead of a, you know, $10 gift card on their birthday, they get, you know, maybe $30, $40 gift basket on their birthday. Instead of a Christmas, you know, just a Christmas card, they actually get a Christmas present, a physical Christmas present that's worth about 40, 50 bucks a piece. So the top 150, they do get a little bit of special treatment because the large bulk of my business comes from these people.
Got it. I just think that that's incredibly powerful. So hopefully folks can take you know, something away from that. And obviously, you know, again, providing a little bit of a different level of experience for the people that are really championing you in your business. So let's you know, move forward to let's talk about getting business, right? And whether they're new agents out there, whether they're, you know, people that are just not quite where they want to be in their business. But let's talk about your guys's, you know, top lead sources, you know, during these times, you know, call it, whether it be, you know, COVID or, you know, again, the current landscape of our market, you know, marketplace. But what are your top lead sources right now? What's working for you to get the phones ringing and really generate the right now deals? Let's start with Shelby on this one.
Okay. So I told you, I mean, I've been in the business 23 years, and I'll say, of course, I haven't done
Don't date yourself.
Listen, I love the experience that I have. I'm proud of it. I know it makes me sound older. That's okay. But honestly, you know, I haven't done everything right. And if I would have done, you know, the things I'm doing now, then I know my business would be double what it is right now. I know that for a fact. But of course, you're new and you're kind of just flopping around. And I started out at a place where I worked at the mall, and I was just getting leads by just being there, and you would talk to people. It was like an open house every day. And then, you know, I did the REO stuff when the market crashed, and that distracted me from keeping in contact with my past clients and building that. And then when that went away, you know, of course, I went back to my past clients, and then I was doing a lot with Zillow. And of course, Zillow keeps changing their platform, so it's like I'm constantly having to evolve what I'm doing. But if I would have spent 90% of my time on my past clients from the beginning instead of trying all these other things, I said I would be in a much stronger position. So I saw this shift coming with a lot of things, even 3 years ago. So that's kind of when I really dove deep with my past clients. I would say 75% of my business used to be from online sources like Zillow. Now 75% of my business is past clients and referrals. So it was like a 3-year shift, but I am super proud to say that that's where our business is. That's where my focus is. That and my farm, which I've been working on my farm for 8 years. That's probably our second strongest lead source. And then, of course, we still have some online sources that we get. We do open houses. And, you know, we're big on the client appreciation parties, 4 of them a year, which again, just, you know, is what's brought me to my 75% past clients and referrals. But that's kind of where we're at with things.
Got it. But I thought Bobby was the only agent in Phoenix that had been in the business for over 23 years, but it's nice to, no, just fun. I promised we'd have a little, you know, joke and some razzing along the way. Bobby, let's go to you though. And in all seriousness, top lead sources. And again, I know you're, like you've mentioned already, obviously have a you know, tremendous farm going in your specific niche, you know, marketplace, but anything specifically with that and or any other lead sources that are thriving for you right now?
Sure. Hey, I do have a question, Shelby. How come you only have one shoe behind you? Is there a significance to that?
It's a stapler. It's a tape.
Jeremy's got. Does Jeremy have the other one?
Yes. Yeah. I said if she doesn't do this panel, then she can't have it back.
I feel better now that I know what that is. So, you know, I would tell you that, and I know we're going to probably get into the relationship with other agents coming up. But
definitely, yeah. Yep.
One thing for me, when I first started, I had a great mentor, and the mentor, Mark Moskowitz, was all about listing. And that's kind of what I've always focused on because of Mark. Now, obviously, when I first started, I was dealing with buyers, but then I was having to go all the way to Mesa areas that I didn't know where they're at. So really, I started a farm area. I started, you know, it didn't happen overnight. I'd say probably took me about a good 8 to 10 years to be able to capture the area that I specialize in North Central. And people always think I can do that in a year. I can do that in 6 months. And I'm just telling you guys, ain't going to happen. I mean, as Shelby knows, you got to pay your dues. And unfortunately, people get out of real estate school. They think, you know, my first sale was with my grandparents. I'm going to be a millionaire. I don't have to work with anybody. I don't have to get a mentor. I would tell you guys, it takes a lot of hard work. It takes a lot of grinding. Open houses are kind of when I first started. Even though my first open house, if people have been in my classes, when I first started to have my nightclub, I fell asleep during my first open houses. Probably I would recommend people to do. So that's when I knew it was time to get out of the nightclub business. But I really have, you know, 8 to 10 years, and now I've been doing it for 28 years. I've really, you know, I coach all the kids in North Central. Fortunately, I let a lot of the kids play, even though they weren't good. The parents remember me letting them play, and they hire me now. But I've been lucky enough to be in an area that I could specialize in, which I know a lot of people don't have that ability. So all my advertising is geared towards that. And we also now, because you know how internet savvy I am not, my wife is now doing my Instagram, Facebook. social media has been huge. And what's interesting on social media, guys, is it's not all about saying what I do. I also thank the other agents that I did deals with, and we'll get into the next thing that you and I talked about. But I think it's, recognizing the other agents who bring in the buyers, and to me, yeah, I can get credit for the sale, but you need to have a relationship out there with the other people. And I think like Daniel, I appreciate you saying that. Answering my phone helps. You'd be surprised how many leads I get, and it's so crazy. People, a buyer will call, or a seller will call and say, you know what, you were the first agent before that answered your phone. Come meet with me right now and list my house. And it amazes me. It's so easy to do, but a lot of people don't want to answer the phone because they're afraid it's negative phone calls. And there are a lot of negative calls you're going to get from people, from your clients, but you deal with it. And when you don't answer, but I'm just telling you, I get business because I answer my phone. It's real simple to do it. But so many people don't do it. And I think that doesn't cost you anything. I mean, there's a lot of different ways I can tell you. I spend money on postcards. I do 3 pages in our local paper. I do this and that costs me money. Answering my phone probably gets me on an average 1 to 2 listings a month. Just answering it. And that's simple thing. And
Wow.
I know in calling agents, when I call agents and they don't answer their phone, it's the most frustrating thing in the world to me. I don't do showing time, which, again, I have my AOL. You guys can make fun of me. I don't do showing time because I make the agents call me because they answer my phone so I can help sell my own listing. I mean, Shelby and I, who've never done business before, I want her to call me, even though she has that shoe in the back that's got Scotch tape on it. But you know what? I want to, if a seller hires me to sell their house, and an agent goes on showing time, I know there's all different ways you can, but if an agent doesn't know your area, I want to help the agent sell my house. Maybe they've never sold a house in North Central before. Real simple things like that, by answering the phone, helping the agents to sell my house, because everybody, when you list a house, it goes on the internet, the sellers, buyers, everybody knows all about your house. I want to give that agent an advantage that he knows more about my house that's not there in print. So simple things like that don't cost you any money, or what I've been relying on for a long time.
Bobby, I love that you one of the things, again, I've known this about you, obviously, and known you for a whole bunch of years now, is that, like you just mentioned, you have immersed yourself into the community. And I think that that's a powerful and effective thing to do. And when you talk about, coaching sports and being involved with the kids and the schools and the, everything that comes along with truly immersing yourself into the community. And like I said, this is a human connection, human resource business, and people want to work with people that they know, like, and trust. And we've all heard that probably a whole bunch of times. But again, truly diving in and knowing what's going on around you, knowing what's going on in the community, I think is just very, very powerful. And Daniel, I know that that's one of the things that you've done very, very well too. But if you, so you can take this now, and then again, any other top lead sources for you right now?
Over the past years, we've always tried to, my partner and I, Modesto, we've always tried to dabble in doing something else to try to create another avenue of leads coming in. And some have started to be successful. And then, like Shelby mentioned, right, we're having some success with Zillow, and then they changed their ways of doing business. And then we started doing letters. Letters were pretty good for us for some point. And then the market kind of shifted some other way. So every time, I'm not saying we were not looking for other ways. We're always looking for ways to grow our business, obviously. But my main focus for me is my database, my clientele. And that's where over 90% of our business currently comes from. Because no matter which way the market shifts, up, down, sideways, whatever, the database is always going to refer me. So that's one thing that doesn't change. At any point, the big corporation that's handing you a bunch of leads, they can change their mind and go with another agent, or they can, decide to do their own brokerage, or they can do whatever. I mean, whatever it is, that could always change. But for some reason, database, they remain loyal.
Yep. And we've all heard the stats out there that, again, call it 15% of any database, or 15% of any marketing campaign, or let's call it a farm, 15% of any farm, will be buying or selling within the next 12 months. And maybe it's 10, maybe it's 5, maybe it's 25, right? But there's a certain percentage in every given database that will be transacting in the next 12 months. So it's, again, how are we staying in connection with those people? It's the same old principles that we've known that are for a long, long time. So, in understanding too, and to kind of piggyback, with what you've said, and well, all you guys have mentioned, is that this is a long game play, right? This is not a business that happens overnight. If you're in it for quick money or an easy business or any of those types of things, we all know that that's just not the case, right? We know that it's, it takes time, and again, it's a long game play. And the folks like the three of you that have been in the business, have stayed consistent over time, and again, you guys have, that's what it takes ultimately to build successful businesses. So any other shifts that you guys are making in the way that you are doing business currently right now? Any changes maybe to the way that your teams are set up, or that you're operating, or the way that you're functioning, or the staff that you guys have? Any other changes, like I said, any other changes or shifts in the way that you guys are doing business right now? Let's start back with Daniel on this one.
Yeah, so we're doing a little differently now, because again, we used to meet in person, so obviously we don't longer meet in person. Now we're doing more, we're getting the team involved a little bit more with the clients, where before, I would work with clients, Lester would work with other clients, and every agent was kind of for their own, or we would give one client to one agent. Now we're getting the agents more involved in the day-to-day process, whether it's showing, whether it's an inspection, whether it's a final walkthrough, where the agents are now going out and performing the final walkthrough, or performing the inspection, or performing the showings. So that's a little different that we're doing nowadays, is a little bit more of the, and it's based off of kind of where you live, because we have team members that are in the east side, we have team members that are way out in the west side, we have team members in Buckeye, we have team members out in the north. So we, based on where they're located, that's what we've done differently as far as a team, because we're getting them more involved, as opposed to just sitting on the sideline and waiting for them to get a client. While they're getting a client, they're out there being involved. And while they're being involved, we encourage them to be active on their social media, whether on their stories or just, a little post on Facebook. Hey, I'm showing you this property right now. Hey, I'm doing an inspection of this property, because then that makes them look busy. And in turn, they get more business from their followers, from their friends and family, because they're out there being active.
Yeah, that's what we have to be doing, right? Active, involved, and engaged. And it's the same thing we talk about on social in general, right? Is being active, involved, and engaged. So, Mr. Bobby, any other shifts in the way that you're doing business right now?
No, I would tell you that, again, with listings going away, I really started doing more advertising to get listings. The last 2 months.
What does that look? If you could dive deep on that, because I know that's a question I think that's been posed in the group here. So what is the advertising and marketing to get listings, and then maybe after you get the listing, how do you market that as well?
Yeah, I mean, I think because I've just been doing a lot more. I never used to send out postcards all over the place. Usually just in my own area. We've done a bunch in PV lately. From that, we've gotten, we've sent out a lot of oversized postcards that have helped me get more listings. I mean, 20 listings in the last month. And again, as you know, I work with myself because nobody wants to work with me. So
not true.
I don't have a team, and I chose not to have a team. But what I would tell you, when I start seeing my inventory going down, even though I may have a good number of homes in escrow, when I see my listings getting into single digits, I get nervous. I get sleepless nights, and I just, again, I'm getting up in the middle of the night going, how can I get? So it's just more advertising, more marketing, social media. I think that's, and one thing that I've been real cautious, and I would tell agents out there, don't categorize yourself as a particular agent, meaning I'll sell, this year I've sold a $60,000 house, and I've sold a $4.1 million house. I don't categorize myself as a luxury, a condo. I'm just an agent. And I think I see too many times agents will say, I want to specialize in the high end, especially when they get out of real estate school and they think they know everything's going on there. I think that's a big mistake people make, is sell everything. Even when I was with Mark Moskowitz, and Mark, you got to realize 25 years ago, luxury market was a 750. I was selling $100,000 homes to people that I knew that would start moving up the ladder, and they did. But people thought initially that I was a luxury agent because I was a luxury team, but I made sure right away they knew I was not. So I just be careful about that, but it's really more advertising, more creative ways. The social media has been really, really good. My wife, as I said, is doing that for me. It's been phenomenal. It's just getting your name out there. And you can't assume, unfortunately now, because you're not interacting with people, you can't run into people all the time. To me, social media is probably, which I've always been very weak on, is probably one of the strengths that we have now, because I have Kathy, my assistant, and my wife doing it, to get my name out there, to show what I've done. And I think that kind of helps keep my name out there. And as I said, simple little things like answering the phone really help.
Miss Shelby.
So, like I said, I like a routine. I like to stay very connected with my team. That's probably been the hardest thing for me. I am a people person. So I wanted to get my team in a good routine when this started. So I did put them, we'd make a call for just 30 minutes, just kind of a Zoom call at 9 o'clock for probably the first month, maybe even 6 weeks. I just wanted to do a check-in, make sure everyone is kind of up and working, because I know it's kind of a weird time for everyone and it's easy to get off your schedule. So that's kind of what we started doing, was the daily call at 9 together. We now still do 2 working calls, Mondays for an hour, and Fridays we do role playing together. So we really have implemented Zoom calls into our marketing, or into our daily plans, our plan as a team. I've also done multiple Zoom calls with sellers and buyers. I always ask them, how they feel comfortable. Do you want me to come over, for the first time right away? Would you like to do a Zoom call? Do you feel more comfortable? I like to know what their comfort level is before I kind of move forward. I'll go to anyone's house. I'm not really concerned about that, but I just want to make sure that the other person I'm working with feels the same way. So I always offer up the Zoom first time meeting call with them, and we've had that be successful. We've also done, obviously, tours, video tours, FaceTime tours with buyers to kind of get the ball rolling and help out-of-state clients. So we do a lot with digital. I've always done a lot on social media, Instagram, those kinds of things. And I'm, trying to keep my team as well consistent with doing that, because it is powerful. It is powerful.
Absolutely. And the same thing goes, right? We've talked about this many times too, is having a responsibility to be on all the various channels that people expect you to be. We need to have a presence on all those. So again, all you guys do a great job, having that presence. I do want to bring Kelly into this and, fielding any of the questions that we have. Again, I'm working from the phone here, so I don't have the list of questions that people are presenting, but if there's anything that you have, and then I do want to get into, I know Bobby keeps, mentioning obviously the hot points between, sellers presenting offers and pushing off time frames, answering the phone, being professional and communicating and all those types of things. But Kelly, any questions that folks have out there that we can implement or that we can ask for these guys?
Yeah, going back to probably when Daniel was speaking, you talked about raffling off gift cards in your private Facebook pages. So how do you raffle that off, like a contest?
So the legal and right way to do it, and that's why I have Jeremy in that group, is to keep me in check, is you have to have everybody's name that you have in that group. You have to put everybody's name in that raffle, and then you just pick out names.
Yeah, can't be anything tied to a transaction or any kind of
Right.
what we always refer to as a kickback. It needs to be completely open and fair odds and all those types of things, and then you can do those types of things.
You got Daniel a little nervous, Jeremy. I don't have anybody, no brokers on this one, so I can get in trouble.
Well, it sounds like Shelby that you're doing some things like this as well. So how do you do that?
So yeah, we pose a question. I'm just trying to keep everybody engaged in the group as well and make it interactive, but we'll post a fun question, or just say, show me your favorite emoji. It's simple, it's fun, it's not complicated. It's just about giving stuff to our clients, but we do what Daniel says, put everybody's name in there. I do a live drawing, I pull it out. So yeah, it's never been tied to the person who gives me the next 3 referrals gets,
Right.
I mean, I didn't think about that idea. I'm not going to do it. Okay.
Right. Obviously, it's personal. It's fun. Go ahead, Daniel.
Yeah. So for some reason, by miracle or by, it's always the people that refer are the ones that always win. I don't know how that works. It just so happens. I mean,
right.
I don't know.
Wow, the odds are, it's just how it goes. It's extra, balls in the lottery in the basket there. That's rotating. That's rotating there.
It's karma.
Weird how that. Yeah, there you go. It's karma. But again, guys, it's a way. It's human. It's interactive. It's fun. It's a way to engage with people, and then obviously, it just builds up those algorithms too in your guys' group when you're going live and doing things like that. So, Kel, any other questions from the group?
Yep, you may have touched on this, so forgive me if you did already, but how have your open houses changed during the virus fear? Did you guys talk a lot on open houses or no?
We have typically about 8 or 10 open houses, and I don't do them myself, but I'm always a little nervous about doing open houses with occupied homes. So typically the ones that we do open houses for are vacant. So therefore we don't run into an issue of any of the virus situations. So the agents, some of them, they have the hand sanitizers there and the option if they want to wear it, but I'm not seeing, obviously people wear masks when they come in, but I really haven't seen the slowdown. I think there's still a little hesitancy. I don't think you're not getting the numbers in the open houses that we were getting before, but I still think it's effective for the agents that are newer in the business or really looking for clients.
And we're getting a lot of feedback from people that are still doing open houses, like you say, taking the necessary precautions, doing the things that the owner, which should be the case all of the time, and, kind of taking the advice of the owner and what they would like to see when you're doing open houses. But the feedback we're getting is that, yes, there might be a little bit less traffic, but the people that are coming in are a lot more serious, right? They're serious buyers, and there's less looky-loos coming through. So hey, maybe it's lower numbers, but a higher conversion rate or a higher quality of client coming in. Kel, anything else?
Yep, last one just came in. What type of closing gifts are you guys giving your buyers and sellers?
Bobby gives a picture of just a headshot of himself, a framed headshot for them to.
I don't give closing gifts. I think during the negotiations, sometimes my contribution is the inspection gift of sometimes I'll, do what I have to do to make the deal happen. That's my gift. I keep the deal alive by having to give up a little bit sometimes to have to offset, but I do not do gifts.
All right. Shelby.
Of course, it just kind of depends on, what happened in the transaction. Sometimes there was a need for me to step forward and take care of some repairs or something that was a sticking point. My goal at the end of the transaction is to make sure that my clients think I'm a rock star. That's what my goal is. So, I'm kind of not happy until that. And that's the goal until I make sure that happens. So yeah, every once in a while you got to step in and make something happen because somebody did something that made my client unhappy. So depending on if something like that happened, I would change things up. But a gift basket with stuff that I know they like, in addition to some, Cutco pieces that we put that I buy that has my branded material on it. I try to do gifts that have stuff with some of my branding on it, so they, name recognition. So it's kind of a big deal for me.
I hope none of my clients are listening to your gifts.
You're in trouble.
I've lost that client.
Yeah.
Remember the commission drop I gave you for repairs? Doesn't that count? Get that.
Daniel.
Yeah, and so along the lines of what Bobby's mentioning is that when you give gifts of a large value, whether it's, gift card or whatever, a lot of clients don't feel the personal touch in that. So we do a generic gift basket, and I say generic because it only costs about $30 or so. We get materials from Amazon and from other places, but what we do in personal touch is we have a picture frame with the picture of the house, with the date that it closed and their name on that picture frame, where they can hang that picture, and it's a memory that they bought this house on this exact date. So that's a little personal touch. And I think those personal touches go a long way. Now some clients, right, if they're in the top 150, they do get extra perks. They get extra stuff. Anything of value, Cutco knives are very nice and very expensive, but if they're branded, then it's a legal way to give somebody something good of value, which is the legal way because it's branded. It has your branded information on it. So we do that depending on who the client is.
All right, good stuff. All right, well, I wanted to shift into, again, we started this whole thing with, the mental health and the mindset, and I'm going to kind of, dovetail this question dovetail that piece into my next question here is that we have chosen to look at everything that's going on around us, and we've chosen to look for opportunities. And again, that's a mindset piece, and it's a decision that we have all made. I trust the three of you have made that decision as well, that we'll rise above it, we'll stay positive, we'll stay productive, we'll keep on our path, of success and thriving and growing and doing everything that we can to serve at a high level. So, are any of you guys looking for opportunities? Again, when we talk about generating business and marketing and advertising, what opportunities are you guys looking at with what's going on to potentially, market? And or if you're not doing that, what advice could you give to an agent out there? So, an example that I would, maybe put out there is say, okay, look, with what's going on right now, I believe that we're seeing a trend. Well, I know that we're seeing a trend of folks wanting to move out of shared living spaces, or maybe wanting to move away from high density cities and wanting to kind of get out into the suburbs or getting out into single family detached homes. So maybe there could be an opportunity here to market to, condo owners or, people that are renting in apartment complexes. Again, just kind of throwing out a couple ideas. What opportunities do you guys see as a potential marketing piece, even if you're not doing it themselves or yourselves? What do you see here as an opportunity? Let's start with Shelby on this one.
I mean, honestly, I haven't really thought about what you're doing. My main focus has just been my past clients. I have over 1,800 past clients. It's a lot of work to manage that effectively and proficiently and to stay on top of it. I would love to do more of what Daniel's doing with the top 50. I've never created the actual top 50. I've spent the last 3 years just trying to get reconnected. I mean, I had a client the other day that one of my agents sold a property to, and they left the team and they've never reached out to them. But because I put them in my system, I sent them a message and he just called me and he's like, you keep sending me these messages and I need to sell my house. And so what we're doing is working. I just am trying to dive deep into our past clients. So that's where we put them into our Facebook group and this other texting thing and the client things. That's a lot of business. I mean, 1,800 people plus my farm, which is 2,500 people. If you do it right, I need, 20 people to help me,
Right.
Really, if you do it right. And so that's the problem I've gotten into in the past is trying to shift my business too much in a different direction that's dangling the carrot for the minute, and then that thing goes away and I've spent too much time. I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I just would say anyone who tries a strategy like that, don't give up your past clients. Don't lose focus on that, because sometimes new projects do take a lot of time and you get away from the basics, you know, they can say get back to the basics. I mean, the basics are your core group of people and just extending that. So I, you know, speaking off the cuff, I would just say I've thought about it, I haven't done it, but maybe really going to visit some of the offices in some states where you know people are, you know, look up the highest population of people that are moving here, go and visit some real estate offices there personally, build some connections. That's kind of what I've thought about doing. I haven't actually done it because, you know, that might be another branch of business that I'd like to connect with.
Definitely. And I just, I think that that's a great idea as well. And I believe that it was LA County maybe a month or so ago, for the first time ever in history, Zillow recorded within LA County of home searches that were going on outside of the county for the very first time ever. And obviously that speaks to, of course, people saying, hey, look, everything that's going on. And again, I don't want to, you know, get in the middle of the weeds here, but maybe that they just, whatever it led them to say, hey, I need to look outside the area, or I want to go somewhere else. So, you know, maybe there's an opportunity there for us to market in some cities outside of you know, our home base to generate some business. So, Daniel, anything on this front?
Yeah, so I did want to touch up a little bit on what Shelby said. And by the way, you know, when I got my real estate license in 2011, and I quickly found out who the big players were, and I was always, way back then, I was a big fan of Shelby and Bobby Lieb. And actually, when I used to take my kids to school, my son to school when the schools were open, I would take him to Madison Heights, and we would go down Glendale Avenue on Central, and he would always see Bobby Lieb's big old picture on the bus stop, and he would, you know, my son would ask me, hey, is HomeSmart and my home group the same thing? I was like, no, it's not the same thing. It's like, are they your enemy? Like, no, they're not our enemies. They're kind of more competitors. So even my son knows Bobby Lieb, you know. But anyway, what I was saying is, I've always been So I want to get my son in here right now so he can see you maybe. But I've always been a fan of Bobby early on. I've always been a fan of Shelby. 1,800 closed house past clients. That's incredible, Shelby. And that's great that you're doing what you're doing, that you started to implement this. I have about 380 past closed clients, and then you have your top 150. So yeah, I do give different treatment to each one. But it is a lot of work. Shelby mentioned it's a lot of work. It is a lot of work. Sometimes when I speak about database and I speak about the systems that I use, people kind of look at me and they kind of saying is like, is it that simple? I mean, the idea is simple, but it's not simple. It is a lot of work. It takes a lot of work to try to reach out to them and implement doing these little different things. But to answer your question, Jeremy, the trend that I've been seeing, you already mentioned one, a lot of people moving here from California. I've had a lot of clients come from California. Another trend that I am seeing, though, the opportunity that I thought about was to connect with, and I used to be connected with the builder back in the day, but the sales guy there went to work for somebody else. But to be connected with the builder because of low inventory, right now we have a connection with the builder that you can market some of their properties, you know, the right way. If we have a partnership with the builder, that you can market their properties and try to get number one, try to get clients to buy those properties, but also get sellers to move up to a newer house, and then you can list their properties. Because of low inventory, I think that's a good, what I've been seeing now lately is an idea to go after or kind of make a partnership with a new builder to promote their build because of the low inventory.
Love it. Good stuff. Bobby, anything on this front for you, sir?
Not really. You know, I mean, I don't do anything different. One thing I will piggyback off Daniel is we all are competitors, but we also need each other. And to me, I think the relationship, can I go on my point that I
absolutely, please do. Yep.
This is my, I'm gonna sit up here now. So I think the fact is that we're all here, and Daniel, I appreciate your comments, and Shelby, we haven't done any deals, that hopefully will. But let me tell you, you can work as hard as you want to work, market as hard as you want to work, and do whatever. But I'm a listing agent. But I will tell you, if Daniel or Shelby were to bring in an offer to me today, I would present their offer. And what I despise now, I'm sorry if I'm going to soapbox, but I'm seeing on these listings. We're not going to present your offer for 24, 48, 72 hours. That to me, the relationship that I have with other agents for 28 years is the most important thing that I have. And nobody, you know, there might be competitive jealousy, whatever, but nobody's never going to say that I ignored them. And I really, it's frustrating to me that I present an offer to somebody and I've worked hard and I can't, you know, this buyer is going to lose confidence in me because somebody out there saying we're not going to present it for 72 hours. I know my brokers told me that's probably, you know, if the seller has said that is the deal, that is the deal, but it's not the seller, it's the agents that are creating that. It's my opinion. And I just think, you know what, that to me causes a lot of animosity amongst agents right now. And we need each other. We need to work together. We need to answer the phone. And I know if I call the main person, the listing agent, I'm going to get the 10th person in line sometimes who doesn't care about you because they're a brand new agent. And I'm going to tell you, you want to last a long time in this business, we're competitors, but you need the other agents and the relationships. And I'm seeing some of these agents right now that don't give a damn about you. They're all about themselves. And guys, I'm saying, if you want to be around 15 years from now, you got to change that attitude. I mean, we can be competitors, but we got to work with each other. And this 72-hour deal, I'll present on Monday. It reminds me of the short sale foreclosure days that those guys, all those agents that were specialists, they went bye-bye because they alienated all the agents out there. So I'm a true believer in marketing all you want, spend all you want, but you need the other agents out there to be your compadres and have a great work relationship. And to me, the relationship I have with the other agents out there is as important as dealing with my clients. And I just want to let these newer agents know, you know, you can be competitors with whatever. My home group, we're good friends. I've been on it's podcast, right? But don't alienate the other agents for one deal because long term you're going to cut yourself out. That's my soapbox. But it really does piss me off that some of these agents don't have respect with other agents, and we need each other. I mean, anyway. That's my 2 cents worth.
No, Bobby, we appreciate that, and I think that again, this is a professional standards type of an issue and of a comment, and we do need each other. We are all on the same team, representing the same, you know, community of you know, real estate agents. And again, if we're in danger of becoming a commodity or whatever it else may be, like, we have to band together and work together, and we are on the same side, albeit on the different sides of the transaction sometimes. But you know, reputations, you know, follow us, and we want to work with the people that we have good relationships with. And, you know, again, all of you pros on this call right now, I would like to think again that if, you know, someone that you know and you have a working relationship with, and or you've done some deals with, they know what to expect, they know what they're going to get, and, you know, you're going to have a leg up when it comes to getting your offer you know, received or reviewed or, you know, potentially obviously accepted in a deal put together. So, you know, huge thank you to all you guys, Bobby, Shelby, Daniel, on your guys' contribution. I know we're a few minutes over here, but any last minute advice, words of wisdom for maybe, again, a new agent or maybe anybody that's kind of struggling, any last minute advice? Let's go to Daniel first on this one. Make it snappy, my man, if you can, because I know we're a little bit over time.
What Bobby said, don't be a jerk. You know, we work together.
Don't be a jerk, but you're right.
That's my advice: is don't be a jerk, because eventually you may cross paths with that agent again in the future.
Yeah, love it. Shelby, any last words of wisdom?
Yeah, I agree with what Bobby said, and I know it's difficult. We all have families and things like that, and sometimes it's hard to get things going as quickly as someone's giving you an offer. But I would just say, you know, what comes around goes around. I do believe in that, and I can't tell you how many times I've gotten my offer accepted because they knew me, they trusted me, they valued my, you know, expertise and my professionalism, and, you know, that goes a long way. And you know, just be careful what you're doing out there, because you will at some point end up writing an offer on their listing at one point. And, you know, it just will flip flop. And so I like that new site, and I can't remember what it is, where you write reviews and thank agents for doing a good job. But you can also tell what agents, do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't.
There's a
I
site.
certainly don't. I'm AOL. I wouldn't know.
Well, I can't remember what it's called. Does anybody else know what it's called? Where I get, every time I close a house, they're saying, would you like to give kudos to this agent, or do you have a recommendation? And so you can say on there, hey, this agent did a great job, or this agent was a complete jerk. And it's on some site that some person created. I know someone's got to know.
Wow.
I bet somebody from Title knows. I feel like I heard of this through lawyers. And Chris was on this call. I don't know if he knows, or if Liz maybe is still on, but
I'll tell you, I like that because it brings back some accountability that somewhere your name is going to get on some site and repeatedly, you know, you're a jerk, you're a jerk, you're a jerk, you're a jerk. And, you know, it could come back to haunt you. So it's a checks and balance. And, you know, we've all had good days and we all had bad days. But at the end of the day, I want a good reputation, and I want to treat people right, and I want to be treated right. So.
Absolutely. Again, we have a responsibility to be professionals, and true pros like yourselves are the ones that last the test of time and have great reputations, and, you know, get invited to be open books on things like this. So again, we appreciate it. Bobby, any last words of wisdom from you, sir?
I said it, but one thing, if you are a new agent, get a mentor. I mean, don't try to attack my wife is going to real estate school, and she's telling me what I'm doing wrong now. But I would tell you that, you know, the real estate school is to pass the test. It's not necessarily the rule.
Right.
You have to learn it, but you need to have a mentor. And I stay with my mentor for 5 years, maybe a little bit longer than normal. But if you want to be in this business long term, I know you guys have a great program at my home group. Get a mentor and stay with them for a year. Absorb it, because if you're going to be in this thing 15, 20, Shelby's 23, I'm 28. You don't survive a long period of time by making a lot of mistakes. You're going to have your bumps in the road, but having a great mentor can get you, help you understand it. And then not only when you're done with that mentor, keep them on board so you can pick up the phone and call them, because every day there's a question coming up in our industry.
It's a great point, you know, and the idea is to shorten that learning curve and get successful in a shorter amount of time, because, you know, everyone took a certain amount of time before the kind of the light bulb went on, or before they figured it out, so to speak, of how to be successful in this business. So the idea is to shorten that curve. Chris, thank you. That what Shelby was referring to is ratemyagents.com. I don't know if that's the exact one that you're referring to, but
that's probably a bunch of them. So
yeah. So
that's a good thing.
again, yep. Hopefully it has the opportunity for, you know, professionals again, like yourself to keep, you know, getting, you know, good reviews and continue to get better. But Kel, thanks for putting this together, and everyone, thank you to all you that joined us. Again, thanks to Bobby, Shelby, and Daniel for your guys' time, being true professionals, being incredibly successful. Cheers to your continued success. Thanks for being open books and paying it forward and helping out the entire community. Truly grateful for all you guys to lead with value and abundance. It's what we're all about, and so we appreciate you guys no matter where you're at. Obviously,
pick up our parting gifts. Are those from Daniel?
That'll be at Daniel's house. Yeah, I'll text you his address. Everyone on the call gets to pick up a gift.
Come on down. Come on down.
So guys, thank you all again, and again, cheers to your continued success. I'm sure I'll talk to all you guys soon.
Shelby, Daniel,
Jeremy.
Jeremy, guys.
Thank you. Good talking to you.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, you guys. Thank
Thanks,
you.
guys.
Bye.